Well, good morning, good morning. Let's check the audio. Good morning, everyone from Massachusetts. All right, so happy. If you see me looking off to the side, it's because I always check my laptop to make sure that the audio and video are good and that I see what you're seeing and I hear what you're hearing. I know there's a bit of delay, but some people have already showed up. Some of you were early. Thank you for being here. Who are the first? Ray, and is it SK Abraham was here, and R Sudarshana. Nat, hello up there in Canada. Good to have you here. Swetha Tarari, hello, and happy Thanksgiving to all celebrating. And if you're not, we'll just have a beautiful day. Okay, who else is here? Afsa and Bajini, hello. Leah Liviera is here, and T. Alex. Bajini, Getrusi, Rajesh, hello. Hi, Rajesh. Good to see you. Afsa, Marley. I'm doing fine. It's Thanksgiving. Leo Oliveira is from Brazil. Benjamin is here. Hello and salam. Afsa is from India, so is Rajesh. Shaya, hi there. Hey, Ray. Good to see you here. Hinchung, glad to have you here as well. I see you. Edson joined us, and someone with a bright future. What a wonderful name. That's very optimistic. Bajini, I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing well too. Bajini, so many people from Uzbekistan. Hey, Sherzad. Good to have you here. And Davidi, Fernando from Argentina. Hi there. From Nigeria, hello to you. Glad you could be here. And Natalia from Ukraine, good to have you. Hey, Larissa, happy Thanksgiving. Baidar came here from Morocco, hello. And from Vietnam, hello, Lok. Ogop, hello. And Peter came. Benjamin, hi there. Oh, I'm seeing an error. That's interesting. I hope we're going to have a smooth connection. YouTube just popped up a message saying YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain streaming or smooth streaming. Fingers crossed. I'm seeing the feed over there and it looks okay. But hey, Liliana, good to have you. Good to have you with me. Ahmed, Amarali from Bogota, Colombia. Well, just before I started the live stream, I got the turkey in the oven. So you get the turkey. You have to buy the turkey well in advance because you need to defrost it. They sell frozen turkeys. So you get the turkeys a few days, put it in the refrigerator so it's not frozen anymore by Thanksgiving. You have to defrost it, thaw it. And so then you wash it off, you pat it dry, put some oil on, put the stuffing in. Everything began last night. If you have not seen my video about Thanksgiving preparation, I'll share it again because Thanksgiving preparation usually begins the day before because there's a lot of cooking. So I baked my pumpkin pie last night and corn muffins, and I chopped up my vegetables for the stuffing so that this morning when I woke up, there was less to do because you need to get a few things ready so that you can get your turkey in the oven on time because it takes usually 4 or 5 hours for the turkey to roast. It depends. It's a careful process trying to get the turkey to roast just right and have all the foods, all the dishes ready at the same time for your Thanksgiving meal. So it is my favorite cooking day of the year, and the kitchen and the whole house is going to start to smell really good in about an hour or two. So after the live stream, I'll continue cooking, and the house will fill up with the smells of roasted turkey, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes. What do I have? Some butternut squash, and of course, later for dessert, we'll have the pumpkin pie. Okay. Um, oh, that's wonderful, T. Alex. I'm glad you're learning. This is a challenge for many of you because I don't have captions and this is not scripted, so whatever comes out, comes out. So you're getting practice with your listening because we're just having some conversation about what is going on today here in the US. I'm in Massachusetts and it's Thanksgiving Day. My daughter's already upstairs. The TV is on because there's this parade every year. And it's fun to watch. Later, the TV will probably remain on because there are a lot of holiday movies that they start to show around this time. So a lot of people watch different movies this holiday weekend. Sports games get turned on. We watched a hockey game last night too. So there's lots to do in a family room just to gather around and watch movies, watch games, play games. And tomorrow, does anyone know what tomorrow is? It's a special Friday. Friday, tomorrow is a big shopping day. It has a special name. Let's see if anyone remembers what that is. I have a video on that too. I can share some links in the comments when the live stream is done. Tomorrow is Black Friday. Black Friday. Did anyone write that down? Black Friday. And it's a big shopping day. They usually start early these days, and there are a lot of discounts and sales and deals, 70% off or buy one, get one free, things like that. And the retailers, of course, want to make a lot of money. Yes, Rajesh. And of course, a lot of shopping gets done around this time of year because we want to buy our holiday gifts. A lot of people do celebrate Christmas in different ways, and it's the time of giving gifts to people we love, people we're close to. So the shopping season has begun. And then on Monday, there's a special event as well because, as you know, a lot of people these days do shopping online. And we have a name for that too. Does anyone know? Okay. Surprised you're asking where I live. I'm still in Massachusetts, still here. Cyber Monday, guys. Cyber Monday. That's when they have lots of good deals online. So you can shop in person in stores on Black Friday. You can do shopping online on Cyber Monday. Oh, goodness. I hope that we're going to get a good feed. I saw a little glitch. I apologize. I don't know why that happened. Could be YouTube. Could be some strange connection. Yes, Ray, you guessed. Okay. All right, guys. Well, what I thought I would do today is share a poem. There are lots of poems out there, but not too many about Thanksgiving. And what I'd like to do is share one of those holiday poems with you. I'd like to read it, see if you understand it. Then we'll take a closer look and look at the vocabulary and also try to interpret what the poet was saying to us, what her message is. And then when we're done with that, we could also read it again. And usually the second and third time that you read something, anything, it becomes easier to understand. And hopefully then, after this live stream, you'll have a copy of the poem through the video. You could practice reading aloud yourself. Poetry is nice and it's enjoyable for the most part because it has a wonderful musical quality to it, but it gets you thinking. Good poems are memorable, and it's very good just for pronunciation practice because it helps you get a sense of the rhythm and the music of English. Okay? All right. Oh, good, Nat. On my end, I saw a little hiccup. I'm glad you didn't see it on your end. All right, let me see if I can do a little bit of magic and share my screen. Let me see if you see what I see. I'll wait just a moment. I'm going to look over to the side. Oops, you know what I don't want to do? Let me stop there. Um, yeah. Okay, now I see myself. I was like, why can't I see? There we go. How's that, guys? Is it big enough? I can go a little bit bigger. Let me go down. I want to make sure the text is big enough. Surprise, you're curious about my technology. I'm using OBS Studio for live streaming. Okay. Hey, Danny from Peru. Good to have you here. Okay, I can see the poem on my laptop, which means I think you can see it as well. And I made the font a little bit bigger. Okay. All right, guys. So this is a poem called Thanksgiving, and the poet, her name is Ella Wheeler Wilcox, and she lived from 1850 to 1919. Thankfully, her poem is in the public domain, which means we can all enjoy it together. And I got it from a site that's, you'll find it on different sites, but I found it on poets.org. So if you enjoy poetry and you're searching for more poems to read, you might check out poets.org. This is where I found Ella Wheeler Wilcox's poem. Okay? Hey, Safia came from Somalia. Glad to have you here, guys. Okay. All right, so the first time I'm going to read the poem straight through. Simply try to understand the main idea. There's a message here. What is it? You will not probably understand every single word. There might be lines you're like, not sure what that meant. But I think overall you will understand. Okay, then we'll look more closely at it. Okay, let me take a sip of tea. Okay. Thanksgiving. We walk on starry fields of white and do not see the daisies. For blessings common in our sight, we rarely offer praises. We sigh for some supreme delight to crown our lives with splendor, and quite ignore our daily store of pleasures sweet and tender. Our cares are bold and push their way upon our thought and feeling. They hand about us all the day, our time from pleasure stealing. So unobtrusive many a joy, we pass by and forget it. But worry strives to own our lives and conquers if we let it. There's not a day in all the year but holds some hidden pleasure, and looking back, joys oft appear to brim the past's wide measure. But blessings are like friends, I hold, who love and labor near us. We ought to raise our notes of praise while living hearts can hear us. Full many a blessing wears the guise of worry or trouble. Far-seeing is the soul and wise, who knows the mask is double. But he who has the faith and strength to thank his God for sorrow has found a joy without alloy to gladden every morrow. We ought to make the moment's notes of happy glad thanksgiving, the hours and days a silent phrase of music we are living. And so the theme should swell and grow as weeks and months pass o'er us, and rise sublime at this good time, a grand Thanksgiving chorus. Okay. Danny, Ruslan, good to have you guys here. You joined us. So is it Jarek? I hope I'm saying that correctly. From Poland. Okay. All right. I hope you understood generally what Ella Wheeler Wilcox was telling us. Okay. And by the way, my Patreon members, what I'll probably allow you to do, I'd love to invite you to do, is share a short reaction. You can write or you can record, as we share recordings on Patreon. And students share voice recordings with me and with each other. So if you would want to share your reaction to this poem, I'll make a special post on Patreon so that you can do that, okay? And if you want to be part of this, guys, you're welcome to join on Patreon, okay? All right, let's look more closely. And another person joined us, Rose Lily. Hello. Wow, you're up at midnight. Glad you could be here. Okay, guys, we're going to look at the poem verse by verse, stanza by stanza. Remember, when we have poems, we don't have paragraphs, we have stanzas. So this is a stanza, this is a stanza. We'll look at one stanza at a time. Okay? All right. We walk on starry fields of white and do not see the daisies. Daisies? I think somebody commented on this before. Daisies are a type of flower, right? So can you imagine you're walking through a field and sometimes you never notice what's in that field? Pretty daisies, pretty flowers, right? Starry fields of white, it's just imagery. Poets love to create images with their words. So in your mind, you should picture this field, kind of like a night sky full of stars. We have a field full of daisies, colorful daisies. For blessings common in our sight, we rarely offer praises. What is a blessing? Things that bless us, benefit us, things that we're fortunate to have, right? But do we often notice them? Do we think about them? Are we thankful? Praise is saying something good. So as we walk through fields, do we notice the flowers for the good things that we have in our lives? Are we thankful? Do we see them? We sigh for some supreme delight. Supreme? Let's see if anyone knows the word supreme. You can guess if you don't know a word saying supreme. Is that a positive or negative adjective? A supreme delight. You think, well, delight. Delight, delightful. I think I know that word. Something good, right? Something that pleases us greatly. Supreme kind of looks like super. A supreme delight, right? Supreme delight. Something that would be so amazing to have. We think about it and we sigh. Oh gosh, we dream, we fantasize, we daydream, we wish, we desire. We want that wonderful supreme delight in our lives. We sigh for that. And we want that delight to come into our lives and crown us. Or with splendor, something amazing. So as we go through these fields, we don't even notice the flowers. We may not notice the blessings. And all we do sometimes is think, oh, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. Life would be nice if I had more of this, more of that, right? And quite ignore our daily store of pleasures sweet and tender. I want to see, can anyone just basically summarize this in basic everyday English? This is the message that goes on throughout the poem. What are we guilty of? What do we do so often? And what should we do? Think about that. Hey, Jerry and Akram. Laura, yes, it's positive. Thank you, Nat. Love the support. Shayanika, thank you for the good greetings. Angel delight. Yes, delights can be food, could be anything that gives us great pleasure, right? Ray, that's sweet. Okay, so there's your first challenge. Sometimes when you read a poem, you just need to say what you understand in everyday English. Poets create these ideas and they use beautiful words. They put words together. That's their art. And they create images that we see in our head. And the music is all very beautiful. But underneath that, there's an idea, just a basic idea, often just a message. What is it? What theme are they exploring? Well, of course, the big hint is Thanksgiving. So it's about giving thanks, gratitude. Yes. Okay. Unobtrusive. Yes. So even if you don't understand all the words, you can start guessing what some of them mean. We'll get to the vocabulary, Yarik, unobtrusive. So basically, as we go through life, we don't see all the things around us, especially the good things. We don't always take the time to express our gratitude for the good things that we already have in our lives, the things that we should be consider ourselves fortunate for. And instead, we just, think about the things that we still don't have or still want, and we ignore what is in what we have daily, whether it's the basics, food, clothing, shelter, family, and just sweet little pleasures that we should take delight in. Okay? Okay. If anyone has to leave, it's quite late for some people. I thank you for being here, and you can watch the recording. Take care, Ray. Our cares are bold and push their way upon our thought and feeling. They hand about us all the day, our time from pleasure stealing. What's another word for cares? Our cares are bold, things that we care about. Our cares are bold and push their way upon our thought and feeling. Cares, you think, what else are cares? Cares, worries, stress, concerns, right? All of those things, they just enter our head and we think about them and we think about them, we feel them, they stress us out. And what do? They steal time because we take time to worry. We take time to stress out. We take time to complain. So it's not a healthy thing, but it's a natural thing that many of us do. We let our cares, our concerns, and our worries come into our daily life, and they steal time from our day. But in contrast, so unobtrusive many a joy, we pass by and forget it. It's a contrast. Our concerns and our cares do one thing, and joys do another. So the worries enter our head, enter our body, our heart, and yet the joys, we sometimes just pass by and forget about them. And unlike the stress that just comes into our life, joy is often unobtrusive. Unobtrusive, perhaps you know words like intrude, intrusion, right? If something comes in and intrudes, it's not welcome. But joy just sort of quietly is there sometimes, and it doesn't demand anything from us. It doesn't shock us. It's just there. It's quietly there sometimes, and we just pass by, right? Yes, Jerry. Cares, concerns. Hi, Jose from Texas. Look at this line. This is the message here. Worry strives to own our lives and conquers if we let it. Cares and worries are the same. Strives, when you strive to do something, you want to, you try to achieve something. What does worry do? It comes into our head. It comes into our lives, and it tries to steal time. In fact, it tries to own our lives if we let it. Conquers. So worry is there and you can deal with it. The one thing you don't want to do is let worry conquer you, defeat you, take control of you, right? Conquers. There's not a day in all the year but holds some hidden pleasure, and looking back, joys oft appear to brim the past's wide measure. This is Old English. Does anyone know what that could be? Some of you might know. Oft appear. This is poetry. Poetry sometimes uses Old English, sort of archaic contractions, things that just aren't used anymore. But in poetry, in maybe certain song lyrics, they might appear. Oft, perhaps you know a word that begins this way. We're missing a couple of letters. Oft. Surprise, my live streams usually for public are an hour or less. So we're just going to read the poem, do some vocabulary, and we'll end. Short and sweet. Okay. Oft stands for often. Okay. But for rhythm, we don't need that extra syllable, so joys oft appear. That's what the poet wanted to write. Right? Look at that. So, in every single day, there's some sort of hidden pleasure. Maybe we don't see it, but there's always something there. Something good, something could be small, but still nice. And when we look back, we see those joys. Maybe we didn't see them at the time, but when we look back, we think, oh, that was good. That was a good time. The memories we can easily identify as good and bad. Perhaps at the time we didn't realize that those common moments are actually very special ones, right? They became more special because we didn't have more of them as the years went on. Yes, Jerry, good guess. And Yarduk too. hmm To brim the past's wide measure. Brim could be a noun or a verb. The top of your cup is the brim, right? So just like your cup has a brim, your past has this boundary, and joys filled that past. Perhaps you didn't even understand or realize that at the time. But when you look back, you realize that, yeah, there was a lot of joy. There were a lot of good moments. Okay? But blessings are like friends I hold, who love and labor near us. We ought to raise our notes of praise while living hearts can hear us. Right? The good things in our lives are like friends, good things that we should value, be thankful for. Ought to is like should. We should raise our notes of praise, right? While living hearts can hear us. Notes are music. We sing music, but in our lives we talk. Do we use our voice, our words, to say something good while living hearts can hear us? Now, let's see what you're asking. There isn't even one day in the year that doesn't hold. Yes, that's a good way to say it in everyday English. Yes. Okay. I think that's a very wise reminder for all of us that if there are friends and blessings and joys, be thankful for them now. And if there's something good that you have to say to someone in your life, say it now while you're here and while they're here too, while living hearts can hear us, right? Because you may not get tomorrow. Full many a blessing wears the guise of worry or trouble. Far-seeing is the soul and wise who knows the mask is double. Guise, perhaps you think, okay, guise, I don't know guise, but I think I know another word like guise. Disguise, right? If you disguise yourself or if you wear a disguise, you hide your identity, right? Your true face. Blessings wear the guise of worry or trouble. Isn't it true that sometimes a situation comes into your life and you start worrying, thinking, oh my gosh, another problem. But is it really a problem? Maybe it's a challenge. Maybe it's an opportunity. So blessings sometimes wear the guise of worry or trouble. It's like someone getting fired from a job, and maybe at the time it feels horrible, but then you realize it was the best thing that ever happened because then you moved on to something better, something you were meant to do. So not everything is immediately recognizable as good. Sometimes it takes a while to realize that this happened for a good reason, right? And if we're wise enough, we can recognize that the mask is double, that there's always two ways of looking at something. And maybe if you change your perspective and your understanding, it won't be so bad. He who has the faith and strength to thank his God for sorrow has found a joy without alloy to gladden every morrow. Now, there is a mention of God here. I would assume that Ella Wheeler Wilcox probably might have been talking about the God that she worships. But what I appreciate about this wording here in 2021, to thank his God, he who has the faith and strength to thank his God, your God, his God, my God, whatever God you worship and whatever thing you value. So despite the many different beliefs out there, do you have faith in something, right? And can you express gratitude towards that source, whatever you want to name it. So it's a matter of appreciating even the hard times, because even in those hard times, there's something good. Perhaps it's something that'll strengthen you, improve you. I don't know. But you have to take the good and the bad. You have to take the bad with the good. That's how I kind of interpret it. And understand that you can't get blessing after blessing. In fact, we already have lots of little blessings in our lives. So even when the difficult times come, you still need to have some gratitude and have faith and have strength. Have belief in a better tomorrow, faith in yourself, faith that you'll get through, and faith that there's something better waiting for you. Have the strength to get through it. And then that feeling, that belief, that knowledge will gladden every morrow, will make every tomorrow glad, will make it happier. This is an interesting phrase, and I talked about this with a few people to get their idea, their interpretation. Joy without alloy. Alloy. That's two pronunciations. I say alloy, but I checked in a dictionary and saw that you can actually shift the stress to the other syllable. So you can say alloy. Depends on what kind of rhythm you wish to create. Has found a joy without alloy, or has found a joy without alloy. Does anyone know the word alloy? Think of metals, perhaps. Okay. Nevin, hello. I can't understand what you wrote, but I welcome you. Jagath? Oh, you've written poetry too? Good. Yada, good guess. Morrow, tomorrow? Yes. Alloy. If you look it up, you're going to see that an alloy is a blend, it's not a pure metal. So a joy without alloy. If an alloy is not a pure metal, then without that, wouldn't the poet be talking about pure joy? So that's what we're looking for, pure joy, right? Simple, not mixed with anything, not tainted with anything, pure joy. That's what we want to find. If you have the faith and strength, then you will have pure joy. Yes, right? Okay. We ought to make the moment's notes of happy, glad thanksgiving, the hours and days a silent phrase of music we are living. So this is a reference to how we create music and songs, right? Songs have music and there are notes that make up the whole song. So the moments of our lives are like the notes, right, of a song. And let's turn it into a song of thanksgiving. The hours and days, a silent phrase of the music we are living. So if the moments of our lives are notes, the hours and the days are the larger parts, the phrases of the music we are living. Our life is like a song. What kind of song are you singing? Could you sing a song of thanksgiving and not a song of like what I don't have, what I don't like, what I'm stressed out about? So it's your choice what kind of music you're going to live. That's what I see here. So the theme should swell and grow as the weeks and months pass o'er us, and rise sublime at this good time, a grand Thanksgiving chorus. This is the time of year for us because it's a day of Thanksgiving. Other countries, Canada has Thanksgiving, just a different time of the year, and other cultures also have some sort of day, of thanking people, appreciating people. So in our own ways, we all have moments to remind us to be grateful for things. But for us right now here in the U.S., today is the day to sing that song, a grand Thanksgiving chorus. This is the time that we're building towards. And it shouldn't be about the shopping that we're going to do tomorrow. It shouldn't be about the gifts we're going to receive during the holiday season. It's about being thankful right now, right here in this moment, for the blessings that we have. Right? This is another contraction. Let's see if you can guess what that is. Or, yeah. Ah, that's interesting. See, in Scotland, they still say, I see you in the morrow, meaning morrow, tomorrow. Interesting. There's an offer to share a poem. Thank you. Rise sublime. Sublime can have different meanings. Rise sublime, like you want the theme to grow, and sublime can be a positive word, like absolutely delightful, wonderful. Sublime could also be a word increasing the intensity or degree of something, like a sublime delight. Okay. All right, so here's what I propose. Let's go over the vocabulary and then I'll do a final reading. Okay. If there are any questions as we go along, I'll try to answer them. Yes, Jagath, you answered, or means over. As the weeks and months pass over us, right? As they go by, as time goes by, we get closer and closer to this day, and we should be ready to sing our song of thanksgiving. All right, vocabulary. This is a short one. Go a little bigger there. There we go. All right, starry is an adjective. Can you see that? In the poem, we saw starry fields, starry skies. If this is the adjective, what is the noun? Can you please tell me? And I'll give you one more. This is an exercise in word forms, parts of speech. You saw gladden, as in to gladden every morrow. So gladden would be the verb. What's the adjective? What's the adverb that you know? Okay. I'll take a look. In fact, the noun is probably the word that's more familiar to you. But here you see we can take that word and create an adjective by ending with the ending y, starry. Yes, there we go. Thank you for typing that. Star. Star, starry. So if there are lots of stars in the sky, it's a starry night. The poet talked about starry fields, right? Fields that look like the sky, filled with stars, but instead the field is filled with flowers. Flower, starry. Gladden. Yes. Good job, guys. I'm starting to see. Glad. Very simple, right? Glad means happy. And the adjective? Gladly. That's a nice word we often use when we agree to a request. Someone wants us to do a favor. Will you help me? Yeah, gladly. Sure, I'll be happy to help. Gladly. So look how the endings. This is also important as you read and you see the words. Sometimes take a little time to look at word formation. It will help you guess more words in the future by understanding how parts go together. That adjectives can end in y, starry, right? Think starry, crazy, happy. Lots of adjectives end in y. Gladden, this is a way that we can turn adjectives into verbs like tight, tighten. So glad, gladden, gladly. Good job. All right, set B. Watch this. Some words in English are tricky because they don't change form, but we could use them at least two different ways, like a noun or a verb. So if you look at 1 and 2 here, and I'm actually going to scroll down so you see a few more. Yeah, I'm going to go like this. I think you should be able to see my screen. Doot, doot, doot. How's that? This is vocabulary set B. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 words are in bold, and I use the word 2 times in 2 different sentences. Can you identify which sentence uses the word as a noun and which sentence uses the word as a verb? Take a look. Okay, I'll read them as I'll give you time to type in the chat. So praise, we rarely offer praises. 2, everyone praised her cooking skills. Which one is the noun? Which one is the verb? And I'll go on with the others while you're thinking and typing. Crown. 3, we sigh for some supreme delight to crown our lives with splendor. 4. The queen's crown held a beautiful gem. Good job, guys. Which means this one is verb. Good. I'll go on to labor. I'll let the answers catch up. Labor number 5. But blessings are like friends I hold, who love and labor near us. 6. Workers should be paid fairly for their labor. Okay, Larissa to verb. Hey, Tiago. Jerry, what did you say? Praise. Yep, noun and verb. Okay, we're getting number 2 now. Number 2. Yes. The queen's crown, we know we're making something possessive. We make nouns possessive, right? Which means this one is being used as a verb. Right? Okay, I'll keep going on to worry while you guys catch up with 5 and 6. But worry strives to own our lives. That's a line from a poem. Okay. You really ought to worry less. Good job. I'm seeing everyone confirm. Yes. Larissa and Jerry, Jagath, Joe. Ruslan is saying number 5 is a verb. Yes. Hi, Niba. I agree. Which means this is our noun, right? Because again, there goes before a noun, right? Subject, and then we have a compound verb, who love and labor. And what about this one? Worry strives to own our lives. You really ought to worry less. Good job, guys. Yep, Ray. I think different people are at different points because there's a delay of a few seconds or several seconds depending on where you are. I hope I said it correctly, Niba. Kotalath, is that your last name? Kotalath. I like your sticker, the Superman sticker. Okay, so everyone up. 6 is the noun. Okay, so 7, Ruslan, Larissa agrees. Worry strives to own our lives. Yes, because that's the subject, right? Something strives, worry strives to own our lives, which means this one is the verb. Okay, so it's something to be sensitive to, that there, sometimes words do not change form, but they can be used as a different part of speech, right? If you like working on vocabulary skills, something that is more very affordable for everybody is YouTube memberships. It's only $1. You can join anytime, and every week I share 2 written tasks on the community tab. Just come to my page, look at the community tab, and look for the member-only posts. As soon as you become a member, you get access to all the member-only posts. If you are not a member, you will not see them. But if you click the blue button, join and become a member, you'll immediately get a badge next to your name, and you'll get access to those weekly tasks. I like to do vocabulary and grammar quite a lot. I do other skills as well, but I often tie them into older lessons. So if you like having short tasks a couple times a week, it's a great way to keep up with your studies. And I personally correct every submission. There's quite a lot of people signed up, but not a lot of people who do these exercises as faithfully as some. But in any case, it is an option. For those who cannot see the blue join button, I'm very sorry. YouTube has not made the program available in every single country. I hope this changes at some point. But if you do see the blue join button, that means that the option is there for you for only $1. Okay? All right. Last set. Vocabulary C. I have them separated into nouns, verbs, and adjectives. I'm going to do this set first. Nouns. The words are splendor, brim, guise, alloy. And I actually think in the poem they might have used it brim. I wonder if they used it as a verb, but right now I'm using it as a noun. So take a look and see if you can guess 1 through 4. On your screen you also see these 2 adjectives, sublime, unobtrusive. Good words to know. You can definitely use this one in conversation too if you really want to talk about something positively. You could use the word sublime. Right. Unobtrusive, good word to know as well. If you pick it apart, you see un, which means not, right? And then you see this adjective ending. Okay. All right. So I'll read 1 through 6 and I will be checking. Oh, hey, Shanika. Shanika came. Thank you. And Ego's here. Oh, Mr. Jami, I see that you're participating. That's wonderful. Okay, 1 is at the U.S. national parks, you can see nature in all its, or all her, you can change the possessive adjective there. You can see nature in all its, each park is amazing and beautiful. There's your hint, amazing and beautiful. 2, marketers create a sales pitch under the of a friendly invitation or helpful recommendation. So for marketers, some things look one way, but something seems to be one thing, but it's another. Okay. Bronze is an example of a or an. It's made of copper and tin. We talked about this one. The server filled my water glass to the, not to the top, but to the, okay. All right, the words are coming in. Let's do this. You guys are saying number 4? Yes, I agree with that. I agree. Ray, you're saying splendor goes where? Who agrees with you? Ruslan, also, you guys are saying splendor goes with number 1? Yes. Let's put that there. Oopsies. And guys, where are you guys telling me to put guys? Number 2? Yep, Larissa, Ray, Ego. Under the guise. That's a collocation. This is a phrase. It's not just good to learn the meaning of a word. How do you use the word? Under the guise of. So this is a good phrase to learn. If you're going to use the word guise, it's nice to learn this whole phrase. Under the guise of. Which means that alloy, yes, you guys, Niba and a few others confirm that this goes here. Okay, so we'll put this back. All right, good job. In all its splendor, under the guise of, it's an alloy. Fill it to the brim, right up to the brim, which means 5 and 6. Look at that, sublime and unobtrusive. Which adjective goes where? Well-trained staff at hotels, resorts, and restaurants are... They should appear when you need them, but remain quietly in the background when you don't. And 6, the experience at the spa was, the massage was amazing, and the calming atmosphere was a beautiful gift to my soul. Where does sublime go, and where does unobtrusive go? Collocation, Jerry, is a set phrase. It's like words that go together in a phrase, 2 or more words, and that's how you use it. Kind of like make a mistake, make a bed, make a sandwich. You don't do a mistake, you make a mistake. So you have to know these common collocations. How do words commonly go together? So under the guise of is a collocation. Or fill it to the brim, to the brim. There's a nature in all of its splendor. It's not a phrase that I came up with all by myself. Many people have used this before. So yes, I agree. Okay, Niba, thank you for being here. Before you go, I'll confirm. Unobtrusive, yes, I agree. And sublime, I agree. And guys, if you're enjoying this live interaction, remember my Patreon members get live interaction throughout the month. So if you really want to take it to the next level and do more than just get written exercises and have the live interaction, that's happening through Patreon. They don't just get the live streams. We actually go to Zoom, we turn on the videos and microphones, and we interact. So they get lots of speaking practice too. Okay, and the last one, guys, we're almost done. Verbs: strive, conquer, and swell. Strive, conquer, and swell. You guys are doing great. Let me read 7, 8, and 9. If you're afraid of heights, maybe you can, by trying a fun activity, like taking a hot air balloon ride. A hot air balloon ride. You can, you need a verb that takes an object. A transitive verb takes an object. Which of those verbs is transitive? 8. As the parents watched their child perform on stage, their pride began to intransitive, something. 9. Dedicated students to do their best on every assignment. Collocation. Which verb goes nicely with an infinitive? English and French channel. Hello. Good to have another person here. If you're a teacher, welcome, welcome. Okay. Suggestions are coming in. You're saying Jagath 9 for strive. Yes, I agree. You strive to do something. Strive takes an infinitive. And Ray, what are you saying? 7 is conquer. Yes. You conquer your fear. That's a good collocation too. Conquer your fear, right? You defeat it. You make it go away. You win. Which means swell has to go in number 8. If something swells, it grows. That can be literal or figurative. Like if you get hit, your bruise can swell, right? If you hurt your ankle can swell. But this is a positive use of swell, where their pride began to swell, began to grow. Okay? All right, guys. All right, this is the paraphrasing we'll see if we have time for. But now that we've gone through the verbs, these adjectives, the nouns, we've thought about words that have more than one use because they can be nouns or verbs, and we saw starry and gladden, right? The words now should be much more familiar, and we've gone stanza by stanza. So what I'd like to do now is read through the poem once more. I won't stop, and I think you're going to understand and appreciate the poem more the second time, okay? If you're watching the recording, you can listen once. The second time, you can listen and repeat. Just use the pause button, okay? Hey, Claudia, good to have you here. All right, guys. Thanksgiving by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. We walk on starry fields of white and do not see the daisies. For blessings common in our sight, we rarely offer praises. We sigh for some supreme delight to crown our lives with splendor, and quite ignore our daily store of pleasures sweet and tender. Our cares are bold and push their way upon our thought and feeling. They hand about us all the day, our time from pleasure stealing. So unobtrusive many a joy, we pass by and forget it. But worry strives to own our lives and conquers if we let it. There's not a day in all the year but holds some hidden pleasure, and looking back, joys oft appear to brim the past's wide measure. But blessings are like friends, I hold, who love and labor near us. We ought to raise our notes of praise while living hearts can hear us. Full many a blessing wears the guise of worry or trouble. Far-seeing is the soul and wise, who knows the mask is double. But he who has the faith and strength to thank his God for sorrow has found a joy without alloy to gladden every morrow. We ought to make the moment's notes of happy glad thanksgiving, the hours and days a silent phrase, of music we are living. And so the theme should swell and grow as weeks and months pass o'er us, and rise sublime at this good time, a grand Thanksgiving chorus. Okay? And even I might stumble here and there. If you do, then read a phrase again till it comes out nicely. The hours and days, a silent phrase. Part of what's creating the music is the rhyme. For the most part, poets choose a rhyme scheme, a pattern, and it repeats from stanza to stanza. Sometimes the pattern is broken, but you can see, for example, what's going on here. Okay, notes, Thanksgiving, living. So if we label with letters A, B, C, and this is B, because these two rhyme. And then chorus, chorus, those two lines rhyme as well. And you see if the pattern holds. If you come up to the first stanza, white, sight, delight. That pattern's a little different. Daisies, praises. Not quite exactly the same, but similar. So if we look at the rhyme scheme in the first stanza, it's A, B, A, B, A, C, C, what splendor store? No, C, what A, B, A, B, A, C, D, C, because splendor, tender, those two rhyme. Come down here, way, day, feeling, stealing, and this one breaks the pattern. So we have A, B, C, D, E, D, right? But there's generally the pattern. The rhyme pattern tries to is more or less consistent. The poet tries to keep the scheme because it creates more of that cohesion, more unity in terms of the musicality of the poem. And what I also love about poetry, this kind of poetry, is there's a rhythm. You can feel it. Our cares are bold and push their way upon our thought and feeling. Bum 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. You can feel the rhythm. So the next time you listen, you can play my reading again and just listen for the beats of the poem and try to mimic that rhythm when you read. It'll create more a smoother reading. And if you're going for smooth connected speech, that sense of rhythm is going to help you. Okay? All right. Let me see if I missed any comments. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the poem. We're going to be winding down. If I think what I'll do for my YouTube members is I'm going to follow up with a quick little paraphrasing task. I'm just going to go chook, 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 chook like this to give a little teaser that we're going to do some paraphrasing. So if you are a YouTube member, you can go to the community tab later today and you'll see a short little writing task. If you're a Patreon member, you'll see a longer task and you can choose a written reaction or a voice recording. Again, if you want to join on YouTube, if you see the blue button, just click and you can join. If you're on Patreon, no, we don't do that. If you're on Patreon, you'll see it as a regular post. And actually, remember that Patreon is on my channel. Let me see if I can go to the right away screen share. Well, we're still screen sharing, but let me go to this for a second and see if I can get my page open. There we go. That's what I wanted to show you. Watch this. Oopsies. Okay. Hey, Susie. Okay, guys, so this is my main page. If you come over here, the top button, memberships on Patreon, you just click that and you will be taken to Patreon and you can read information. Remember, Patreon is the place to be if you are high intermediate or advanced. This is for live interaction, group classes, and at the higher levels, when there are openings, people sign up for one-on-one meetings during the month. There are all kinds of tasks, listening, speaking, writing. I try to focus on all skills throughout the month because I believe that all skills are important. But the Patreon members are the ones who get to meet with me in Zoom. Videos, microphones are turned on, and we have group interaction. It's an ongoing program. The best time to join is the first of the month. Okay, but you can join at any time. If you join here, this is for YouTube memberships, and YouTube memberships have give you access to the community tab. As you can see at the top of my screen, because I can see all member only posts, there are the tasks for members only, and they are marked by stars. Okay, so if you'd like to have access, you can do that by becoming a YouTube member. Okay. All right, guys, so we're going to wind down, and I'm going to see if there's any final comments. Jerry, if you do not see the blue button, it could mean that YouTube memberships are not available in your country. It's either white or blue, but if it's white, then it has blue writing, or it's a blue button with white writing, depending on how your screen looks. There's a blue button for join. If you click join, that is for YouTube memberships. It's only $1, and the best way I can support you through YouTube memberships is by giving you short written tasks twice a week on the community tab. I apologize to members. Yesterday the task went up and there was a problem posting comments, but now you can do it. I fixed it. I personally correct all submissions. So again, if you want a little bit of written practice each week, YouTube memberships is the way to go. You also get access to an archive of older live streams. It's like 13 hours worth of instruction. So there's a lot you get for $1, okay? Plus some bonus posts I sneak in there. Patreon is the place to be if you're high, intermediate, and advanced and want live group instruction and exercises that target different skills. Okay, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Okay. If you have no problem understanding me at a fast pace, when I really talk at my natural rate, if your vocabulary was strong enough to understand, to help you understand the poem with the first reading alone, probably high enough for Patreon. We have group discussions, we have role play, presentations, debates, so you definitely need to be at a high intermediate level to join in. I do even have other teachers as part of my membership program, so they add a lot of richness to the program. And they're there to work on their own professional development, but they also add quite a lot. They make their own contributions. It's a wonderful, welcoming group. So if you're looking for practice and that's ongoing, we target different skills. Soon we will vote on December's topic, and we'll see what the group chooses. This month was speaking games, but we've had pronunciation and writing in the past. Okay? All right. Okay, guys, so I'm going to wind down. It is time for me to check on my turkey. The turkey is roasting, and I need to start peeling potatoes and preparing all the other vegetables. If I have some photos later, I will share them as well. I like to share photos usually on Facebook or Instagram. So remember, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course here on YouTube, English with Jennifer. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving, I wish you a healthy, happy, and wonderful, sublime Thanksgiving. And even if you're not celebrating this holiday, I wish you well. And let's all remember the wisdom of the poem, to be grateful for what we have and to stop and look at the field that we're walking through and see the small delights and the small blessings that are there to gladden our lives, right? Let's be thankful for what we have today and not complain about what we don't have. And maybe it will be happier if we focus that way, right? So thank you, guys, and I hope that you have a wonderful day or evening, whatever time it is for you. All right. Thank you for joining me, guys. Take care.